Hello friends, welcome to my channel Overnight IELTS Success. I am Nisar. Today we will talk about top tips that you have to consider while going for your IELTS speaking. These tips actually I have followed in my speaking, and my speaking dramatically improved from 6.5 bands to 8 bands. I have given 4 tries till now, and my first attempt was in 2020, mid 2020, where I have achieved 6.5 bands, and then I attempted just a month back this year, and I scored fabulous 8 bands. My first tip for you would be, don't be too wordy in initial questions by the examiner. Like for example, I have seen many candidates who used to speak long answers when they are asked to show their passport. So I believe that it is not necessary. You have to start slow and gradually show your confidence and fluency in your speaking. Obviously part 2 and part 3 are the areas where you are given enough time to showcase your vocabulary, and so you can actually do well in those areas rather than giving long answers in even part 1. So part 1 answers will be around 2 to 3 sentences, but people make it long, and that is not necessary. Our second tip would be, in part 1, use synonyms as much as possible. Don't repeat your words. For example, in my speaking, I would say in my last speaking, I used a variety of different words for agreeing to the question, like indeed, invariably. I couldn't agree more on this. And also I have used hands down, which I believe is a very good word, and hands down basically means absolutely. Coming to the tip number 3, it is about part 2. We need to use our 1 minute preparation time for part 2 judiciously, because I have seen candidates who are being taught by some teachers to note down every answer of the questions that are mentioned in part 2, but that is not necessary. If you are confident to answer top 3 questions by just looking at the questions during your speech, then I think it is not at all necessary to note down the answers. But for the fourth answer, which is very important in part 2 speech, where we are asked to express our feelings about the incident or for that person, so at that time we have to frame our answer, and that is crucial. So I believe that we have to spend more time in framing our answer in that 1 minute for the fourth question. My tip number 4 would be, use an idiom in your part 2 speaking. It is crucial, and it will grab you good points. But if you are too wordy and if you are using too much idioms, like more than 2, then it may reduce your score. So make sure that whatever idiom you are using, that should be matching your sentences, and it should the examiner should feel that that idiom has been used naturally. My tip number 5 would be, in part 3, you have to use your preparation time, though it is not given, but you can obviously ask if you are finding that question difficult, because in part 3 you are literally examined. If you are at 7.5 bands in part 1, part 2, then in part 3 they will give the questions accordingly to judge whether you are at band 8 level or not. So it is okay to ask for some time to think about the question to the examiner. Like for instance, I have used variety of sentences to ask some time. You can say, that's a tough question, allow me some time to ponder over it. And also you can say, I haven't given a thought about it, please allow me some time to think about it. So that way you can actually use 5 to 10 seconds to frame your answer, and that will have a big impact on your question, on your answer. Because basically I witnessed that in part 3 we lack time, and also the complexity of the answer makes us frustrated or nervous. So you have to ask for time. It is completely okay. Our sixth tip would be, use examples in part 3 answers. They actually they want examples to understand you better, so quote some examples from your own life. You can even give examples from of others or of different nations, things, anything, but just give relevant examples to justify your answer, and that can improve your score dramatically. Our seventh tip would be use proper connectors in your speech. That will give your speech a proper way. Like for example, you have to use words like although, not only but also, however, despite that. The technique which I used while preparing for my speaking test was I have used abbreviations of the connectors which I want to use inevitably in my speaking to score more. So I made an abbreviation hand, and you can use the letters to remember your connectors. Like H is for however, A is for although, N is for not only but also, and D is for despite that. So that way I made sure that I can use these 4 connectors in my speech without fail. Coming to our 8th tip, don't use fillers like right? During memorizing or during remembering, recalling the words or framing your sentences, you tend to use these fillers, which lowers your points and it doesn't look good. So I would say that lower your fillers. Coming to tip number 9, practice enough. As I have said, record your voice and hear to it by putting on Bluetooth headphones. It will give you the feeling of examiner. You have to see your own speaking as an examiner, where you can improve, what grammatical mistakes you are making in your speech, and then you can improve. So basically, I personally recommend you to record your own voice and hear to it to eliminate your mistakes. Let's talk about the last tip, which is, I believe, that the most important tip in all these 10 tips. On the speaking day, don't be nervous, calm down. They will mark your speaking based on your level, that is for sure, but for that you don't have to be nervous to showcase your full capacity or your capability in speaking to them. So I would suggest that take it as an interview, a normal interview, job interview, which we usually appear for, and just rock on that day. You are the best. Just remember that whatever words you have learned in your speaking practice, use them wisely. Thank you for watching my video. I believe that this video will help you improve your score in your speaking. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe my channel for more videos on IELTS.